Hello, everyone. Happy Barbenheimer week. I'm so excited to see both of those movies. I'd love to know if you guys are planning on seeing them as well. We're definitely going to do a double feature day on Thursday. And if you are seeing a double feature of these, are you doing Barbie first, Oppenheimer first? I'd love to hear. I'm personally going to do Oppenheimer first and then partied up with Barbie afterwards. So, hope you guys are all having a wonderful Tuesday as always. A happy hour. I know I normally drink like a sour or something, but today I went with a Tom Collins. So, little classic old school cocktail, refreshing for the summer, and I highly recommend it. So, before we get into Barbie and Oppenheimer, that type of discussion, I did see Mission Impossible this weekend. And I don't think I'm going to do a review on it because I feel like with that movie in particular, it's kind of like, well, everyone liked it. There's not a ton to talk about. And I figured the few things that I did want to discuss, I would probably just talk about here. But before I get into discussing Mission Impossible, I'm going to get into the chat a little bit. And I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the chat of why Mission Impossible did not have as big as of an opening weekend as perhaps we all thought. I know a lot of us were expecting something along the lines of, how Top Gun did last summer. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on why, it didn't do poorly. It just wasn't amazing. It wasn't what we all thought it was going to be. So without further ado, let's check out some of the chat and then we will continue the film discussion. And again, thank you for being here and happy Tuesday, happy hour. Just got back from Mission Impossible. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so you saw it twice, Tyler. Yeah, I genuinely really liked it. My biggest problem actually is was the character Grace. I thought she was so annoying, and I felt that her character was written for someone that was more of like a 19-year-old. I know her character was supposed to be 29, and she was played by an actress who's closer to 40, or at least she was closer to 40. I think she's 41 now. The actress from Captain America. I just really felt that like nothing she did made any sense, and that's not how a 29-year-old woman would react to anything, or make the choices she made. But besides that, Elsa's death I also really thought was ridiculous, and I thought that fight scene really did such a disservice to her and her character, and I feel like Ilsa probably could have kicked that guy's ass pretty quickly, to be honest. And I was really upset that she was killed because she, to me, was a much more interesting character than Grace was. But besides that, I loved everything else. I loved all the chase scenes. I loved the Fiat in Rome scene. I thought that was really well done and incredibly fascinating how they filmed it there with all those tiny streets and everything. I absolutely loved that. I thought visually it was really, really well done. And the airport scene too, I really enjoyed, and I'm glad. I was just talking to John Automates about this with Bone Bridger. Bone Bridger will be my guest this evening. He will be on at 5. But when it came to discussing this, John said his favorite scene was actually the airport scene, and it really reminded me how well done that scene was. Which is kind of, it was early on, so you kind of can focus more on the train scene or the Fiat scene in Rome, or quite a few others. But yeah, I thought that was really well done. And I'm sure we'll be discussing a little bit more of this movie. But yeah, I got to give it to Tom Cruise. He's still killing it at the box office. He's a very enjoyable person to watch. And yeah, it was a really fun time at the movies. Slip de Garçon, thank you so much for joining. I hope everything is pleasant for you in the UK. Geez, scared the crap out of me with that intro. Sorry. And that's actually not my traditional intro for happy hour either. That's like for when I do other types of streams. And I promised everyone that I was going to get it back on track. And like, it's just been a little bit of a madhouse here. So I promise next week moving forward, it will still have the happy hour cocktails and all that stuff as the intro from classic movies, as well as my guests logo and all of that. So but thank you for, I apologize. Maybe it's a little loud. I can always adjust the volume on that too. Hey, Dimension Scott, I'm doing quite well. Yeah, I'm doing really well. And I'm actually going to be putting out a video soon comparing the opening sequence, the opening ad that you see at Regal compared to the opening ad you see at AMC, because there's one that I absolutely can't stand, and it's not the Nicole Kidman one. To be honest, it's not. I actually really like that one, and I can't stand the other one. So I'll be working on that though, probably later this evening. And then as well as just getting amped up for Barbenheimer. Yes, I'm so excited. Hey, The View with Drew. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Did you see Mission Impossible yet? Are you going to? Are you planning on seeing Barbenheimer? And I'm just going to refer to it as Barbenheimer because they both look really cool. So, yeah, you can just say, no, I'm not going to see this one, but I'm going to see the other one, vice versa. But I'm just going to refer to everything as Barbenheimer for this weekend. Well, hey, Luke, how's it going? Nice. You're seeing Barbie on Thursday and Oppenheimer on Saturday. Awesome. Well, let me know how you think, what your thoughts are on those. Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. It was really enjoyable, Luke. Yeah, literally my only critiques were the Grace character and how they actually, you didn't see it, so I'm not gonna. Hopefully, you didn't hear what I said earlier, because there's a specific moment with another female character that I just thought was ridiculous. But I'm not bringing that up because you didn't see it. But I apologize if I do talk about that because it did really bother me, and maybe later on with Bone Bridger we will discuss it. But yes, I enjoyed it. You're gonna have a great time if you see it. Hawkeye, hey. Okay, I know I pronounced this properly last time. You told me I did, so I'm going to try it again. Hawkeye, Heyoka edits. Hawkeye Heyoka edits. Thank you so much for joining me. I think it's like the H's or something like that I get nervous, and then I'm like, no, I can pronounce that quite easily. So thank you for stopping by. Your cool boyfriend. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I can understand that. I think it's like the Scientology thing. And I totally get that. And I that was actually one of my reasons why I didn't really care for a long time to see a Tom Cruise movie until Top Gun. Like, I literally saw Top Gun in the theaters in October, which goes to show you how long Top Gun was running in theaters. And it also goes to show you that I really didn't care to see it, but everyone was just like, it's so good, you have to see it. So I saw it and I really liked it. And I think he understands what makes a good film. And I think his years and years and years of working with really great directors in dramas, comedies, yeah, of course, action films, sci-fi films. I mean, I think he really understands the craft of filmmaking, and I think he really understands his audience really well and wants to just give them a really great experience in the theater. But I totally understand where you're coming from. And I've literally only just kind of recently gotten back on the Tom Cruise train. So, because Barbenheimer stole the spotlight with their advertising. Well, yeah. I mean, so Tyler, you brought up a great point, because it really comes down to the window of when you're releasing your film. And, with Indiana Jones, that came out 2 weeks ago. Everyone was a little sour from that. And then it was like, okay, I'm going to wait to see Oppenheimer, if we're talking about that demographic, or Barbie. And then, it's spliced right in the middle there. It's going to lose its IMAX screens quite quickly because Oppenheimer is going to take them all. I really think that the box office for the second one, the part 2 of this, I think is going to do quite well. And we were all just talking about that as well. If they place it properly in the calendar, and Bone Bridger brought up a great point. He was like, you could literally put part 2 in a weird time frame, just as long as it's not, competing with a lot of other things surrounding it, and it should do really well at the box office. And I really agree, because going to the movies is very expensive, and it's difficult to get people to see everything, especially when you've had such a jam-packed summer and a lot of letdowns for a lot of people. My viewpoint is that over time, Mission Impossible will get more money. I agree with you. I think it's going to do. So I made this example earlier. Elemental, which had I think one of the lowest openings for Pixar. And I'm not saying advocating for this film. I haven't seen it. I'm just using this as an example. Elemental had a horrible opening, and it has consistently been making money every weekend at the box office. So I think I think it's going to be one of those situations for sure. Like, I don't think the drop off is going to be that tremendous. Maybe this weekend and then in the following weeks, because I mean the rest of the summer doesn't really have a ton of big films left. I feel like I can't even. I was trying to think of that earlier. Like, obviously Blue Beetle, but I'm not really even considering that one. Haunted Mansion, like that's for kids. Which I'll see probably because I liked the ride a lot at Disney World, but I want a redo of the Eddie Murphy one because that one was an abomination. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I totally agree with you, Drew. I think that's what's going to happen. Realistically, just how big can the seventh film in a series be? I agree. I think though there is a little bit of the fact that Tom Cruise is in his 60s. He's still doing these stunts. And it's something, I mean, he's more exciting to watch currently than Harrison Ford is, if we're being completely honest. I don't know. I think Harrison Ford seems burnt out and doesn't really want to do these movies, but says yes. So I think there's like more of a passion and excitement coming from Tom Cruise to still continue doing these. And I think that resonates in the films that are produced. Maxfield, my boyfriend. Yes, we were both pumped for Barbenheimer. We are in a major movie season. It feels amazing. Yeah, it's an overwhelming season, that's for sure. But I agree with you. We've got some really fun things approaching. Dead Reckoning is closely tied with Fallout as my favorite. Yeah, I could see that. I think there was a little bit more of a fun element in this most recent film, Mission Impossible film, that I didn't feel as much in Fallout, and that's a plus or negative to a lot of people. I think some people thought this was a little too fun, and some people thought Fallout was a much better tone for the Mission Impossible franchise. I personally liked the fun aspect a lot. I really, felt like a summer movie. It was like, kind of felt like a teenager or whatever going to see the big blockbuster at the movies, which we really, even though we have a billion summer blockbusters, it's like oversaturated. They never all like really feel like a summer blockbuster. And this movie does. I mean, her still is, oh, very funny. Fritzky, how's it going? Very nice to see you. Fritzky, I think, is joining me next week. Actually, he'll be my guest. He's in film school, and he is a brilliant mind regarding film. And I think it'll be a fun conversation. Huge David Lynch fan. I think if you've ever had a conversation or you've seen Fritzky on anything, he is a huge David Lynch fan, and that is pretty cool. Honestly, I can't say I agree with either, but I can understand that. In all fairness, Atwell's 29 compared to Cruise. Right. Well, that's the thing, though. I think it's like they had to like make her young enough, but not her. It's weird. Like they didn't want to make it creepy, even though 29 and a 6-year-old is still kind of creepy. And she's not 29. She's in her like early 40s, late 30s. But her behavior was just so obnoxious that I just couldn't stand it. But I agree with what you're saying. But yeah, the age thing is always going to be weird at that point because he is in his 60s and they want to have those like, she's not a Bond girl. I'm just using it as an example. They want the like, women have such a larger role in these movies. And it gets a little tough if you're even slightly hinting at a romantic interest. For some reason, it didn't bother me with Ilsa, though. I felt like Ilsa was like, I personally would feel she was in her like early 30s, maybe, or she just seemed like she had been through so much that she was just a very old soul. And I felt like that Ilsa and him worked a little bit better, even if it wasn't fully romantic or anything like that. But I don't know. Yeah, I know all the men love Atwell in this movie. I'm not shocked. I just really couldn't stand her character. I was looking for a little bit more realisticness with her decision making because she kept screwing everything he wanted to do. He kept screwing it up, and at a certain point, it was like, "You're not an idiot. You've been claiming to be, and have been like we've all been learning that you're one of the top." I can't think right now. Pocket. What does it do when you steal from people all the time? Anyway, thieves essentially in like the world, or at least the country. And she has this long legacy of being known as that. And it's like, but you are so making these stupidest decisions. And to me, that would have been a 19-year-old that's been like, I've been through a lot. Like at 10, I was an orphan and all that stuff. Like, Not as a 29-year-old. Come on, give me a break. Stole the movie from me. Yeah, because you're. Yeah, I don't get it. I literally wanted to punch her in the face the whole movie. I really couldn't stand it. I wanted to just be like, wake up. But that's my opinion. We all have opinions. It's okay. And I really think the death. Wait, you saw it, Luke? I thought you said you didn't see it. You did see it. That's what I thought. Okay, I think when you said how was Dead Reckoning, okay, we can speak freely because I thought we talked about this on Instagram. I really felt the death of Ilsa was just really, really disrespectful to that character and really, really ridiculous. The mission didn't make a huge splash due to Sound of Freedom taking a chunk out of the box office. I mean, that is a huge, definitely a huge possibility. The thing that's interesting about the Sound of Freedom box office is the Pay It Forward program that they have. It is a grassroots campaign. I believe you can go to their website and buy a ticket for someone else that can't necessarily afford to go to the movies, but they're not tracking if those people actually went. So that's like a really interesting thing that I don't really think has ever been done before. So you could essentially say the first opening weekend of Sound of Freedom was one of the biggest openings, or whatever you want to say. It had a huge opening, but they're not tracking that those people actually went, because you can go through the site and be like, I want to buy this movie for this person so they can go see it, but they haven't actually accounted for that. I kind of wish we could like always know, because there's always rumors of studios too, just buying tickets in theaters just to make it look better. I wish we could like track who actually was at the theater or like purchase them at the box office or something like that. I know it's impossible to do, but I just think like in this case, in this scenario specifically, it's really interesting to see that like maybe those people didn't actually see the movie, but they have tickets for them. So hey Laren, how's it going? Thank you for showing up. I hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. Happy hour. Happy Tuesday. Hey, how's it going? Caveman Movies and More. Thank you so much for stopping by. As always, I think this is a good opportunity to tell everyone, a lot of people on here, most of the people on here have channels. They have great content, and like definitely subscribe and like to them if you are if you check out their channels, and I think you're gonna really like what you see. Loved Dead Reckoning. Yeah, so did I. I really loved it. I'm sure, Laren, you might have like joined in when I was totally talking badly about the Grace character, but that's okay. I feel like it's probably a hot take, and I'm okay with that. Paris. Oh yes. I loved that too. That was a great part. Yeah. I really thought that Palm really added a lot that I wasn't really expecting, and it was like a very subtle performance as well, and I really enjoyed it. I saw it last Tuesday and loved it. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Sorry, Luke. I don't know why I got confused. But thank you for letting me know. Everyone's saying hi. We have someone, Nicholas McMath. Hi, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, my guest is going to be on at 5, and that is the Bone Bridger, and I have his link in the description below. So if you guys are excited to see him, he will be on at 5. If you do feel like getting off the stream and joining us later, I totally understand that. His channel is really fun. He has really great commentary on what's going on in Hollywood, and as just really like kind of like current events with films, but in a really great way. To me, he's like a really good storyteller for his channel. Like, he's not telling stories, but that's like the way I would describe it. Like, he's just got a great personality and puts things in a really great way. Yes. Yes. Very fierce. That's a great way to put it. Cheap Tuesdays used to be less than $10. And Tyler, I actually just paid. I just got the you pay for the month and you get unlimited movies. I don't know why I haven't been doing that like at all. And I'm going to save so much money this way. I feel so stupid for not doing it earlier. I think it's because I was kind of hopping from AMC or to an indie theater to a Regal, and now I'm just like, let's just commit to one and just get everything a lot cheaper and enjoy. And I like the tier system they have well, it's not even really, they don't even really have a tier system at Regal. They kind of just, depending on your theater, they charge you a specific price monthly. Whereas AMC, I think it's like they charge you more if you want to see more than 3 movies a month, which I'm definitely going to do. So I'm happy. I really do like Regal. I'm putting a whole video about Regal and AMC, and there are a lot of things that they do coming out soon. So um Fast and the Furious 7. I didn't. Well, Furious 7 was that's the one with Paul Rudd when he passed, like the first one they did, I think, in honoring him. That's actually one of the ones I actually saw. I saw the very first one. I think I saw the seventh one, and I can't remember if I saw any of the other ones. I don't. I appreciate the franchise. I respect it. It's just not necessarily like something I'm dying to see. Oh, thank you so much, Hawkeye. That's very kind of you. Hey, how's it going, Anthony? Thank you so much. Yeah, we're having a fun time here. We're it's happy hour. We're getting pumped for Barbenheimer. Yeah, and again, if you guys in the chat have any opinions on these films coming up this weekend, what are your box office predictions? I think I have mine pretty solid, but I really do think that these two films are really going to help each other out for the box office. And it is because it's not CGI everything. It's not a sequel. It's not the fifth film in a franchise. They are individual ideas, individual concepts as films, and people really want that now. I think you can see the response from people being so excited about this weekend for those two films, and it is so refreshing and it's so nice. And I think this is like, I really hope that Hollywood pays attention, because I think this is a pivotal moment in what we get moving forward. Little smiley face there. Laren, I have to tell you, I don't remember if I saw Ghost Protocol. I've heard nothing but good things, and I've heard it's like the best, or one of the best. I just really don't remember if I saw it, so I apologize. I know I definitely saw the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman, because I loved him and I think he's an incredible actor. Miss him so much. He was like the best villain, I think, by far. So yeah, I think. But that was the third one. But I should definitely check out the Ghost Protocol if I haven't seen it, because I really just don't remember. They're all talking to each other. I enjoyed your input on Bonebridger's channel with your top theater movie, comfort movie, and other answers. You bring a different perspective, and I appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much. And the thing too, Anthony, I did not know what the question was going to be prior to us filming that. So if I had more time, like, I'm okay with my answers, but I feel like as soon as he told us right before we were pressing record, I was like, my brain is blank. I feel like I've never seen a movie in my entire life, and I can't think of anything. So thank you so much, though, for your kind words there. Yeah, we have a great time, and he'll be on at 5 p.m. If you are interested in staying along for that. But yeah, I literally was like writing stuff down while they were going with their answers, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I did like that movie, and I did like that point. But thank you so much. Hey Lance, how's it going? Watching The Curse of the Black Pearl, and later going to watch Fat Albert. That is your favorite movie. I know that that is one of your favorites, so that's great. I'm glad you're enjoying your Tuesday, and hope you're having a great time. Hey Tiana, how's it going? Tiana is wonderful. Everyone should check out her channel too. She's on a lot of people's live streams as well. She's really like just lovely to have on. Thank you so much for showing up, Tiana. Hey Kal-El, how's it going? I love your name, so I'm so excited every time I get to say Kal-El. So I love that. So thank you so much for stopping by, so I get to say your name. How's the skies? Where you at? Still smoky? Apparently it's really bad right now. I haven't actually been out of the house that much, just to run a couple of errands here and there, but apparently the past 2 days the air quality has been horrific again from the Canadian fires. So I don't think that this is going to be a one-time thing, and I think it's going to be continuing on and off throughout the summer. And actually, my boyfriend's sister, who lives in Pittsburgh, they are having the same exact issue. So it's really it's crazy how far the damage is, or the smoke is traveling to parts of this country. It's really wild. Where was the ticket buyers to the Flash and piss them? Dude, okay. People that loved the movie and people that hated that movie both can't understand that box office. Like everyone is just baffled. Even people that are like, "Oh, I hated that movie." They're like, "What?" Like that's the consensus. No, like anyone I talked to loved it, hated it, mid on it. They don't understand that box office. I think it's a number of factors. Maybe when it came out, maybe the Ezra stuff, but I mean, everyone is really just baffled with that box office. So, I mean, great question. And actually, I think that The Flash will probably do astronomically well on streaming. Not saying that people are going to pay for it, but I'm saying like as popularity, when it hits, I guess that would go to HBO Max. I have to keep calling it Max now, but it's weird because my boyfriend's name is Max, so it's one of those things I'm getting used to. So yeah, I think people are going to eventually see the film. I think they just are hesitant to pay for the film. People are saying hi. Everyone's saying hi. Writing Elsa's death seemed like they were simply trading one. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I felt like such an outsider in this stream. I could not stand that. It was so ridiculous. And Elsa is like a badass. She's such a badass. And I felt like I'm blanking on his name, but the main villain that she was fighting. First of all, he looked like she could kick his ass in 3 seconds. Like that was number one. Like there didn't seem like an even keeled fight there. And when that happened, it was just like, what? Like I was so mad. I was so mad. And I was like, oh right, so I have to be stuck with whiny, uh, annoying Grace for the rest of the movie, and I was. The one I loved actually, the female, I forget her name. I'm blanking out. She was the blonde one that actually that Grace winds up takes the mask to look like. I'm sure you guys all know this. I'm trying to look it up right now. I always blank out on her name. Vanessa Kirby. So I thought Vanessa Kirby did a fantastic job playing both roles. And I thought when Vanessa Kirby was playing the Grace, playing her portion of the film, I thought that was really well done. And I think you could really tell it was Grace pretending to be Vanessa's role. So I thought really fantastic job there. Oh, very nice. Very cool. What game are you playing? Everyone's saying hi again. Not sure I have that unlimited deal. We don't get AMC or Regal in Canada. Hell, my local theater's renovating, taking out seats and replacing them with recline. Good. That's amazing, Tyler, because that's what theaters need to be doing right now if they want to see their box office numbers get better. And I know that theaters don't make any money off of ticket sales. I know it's all concessions, but still, this needs to be an investment with these theaters, and it's tough for them. I totally understand that, but that's the only way people are going to like really try to come back to the theaters instead of waiting for streaming. These studios have trained people to stream everything and watch everything at home. They like it's a very different ballgame now. And you know, these theaters have to go kind of above and beyond. It's not necessarily their fault. They have to stay current and they have to not have, you know, seats that are broken and you know, carpets that are falling apart. And I mean, they have to try to update these things. And I do think, and I've said this before on this stream, and I know Tyler, you don't drink, but I'm saying in general, I think one of the smartest moves they did was incorporating bars into these theaters because they have such a high profit on alcohol. So like if these theaters are selling a glass of wine for, I don't know, $15, they're making like 150% profit, if not 200% profit on that glass of wine. So that is one thing that I think they did really well to keep these theaters open. But you're absolutely right, Tyler. Like, that's good that they're replacing these things, and these things do need to happen. I would be so curious what the chains are that your movie chains are in Canada. I always forget you're in Canada. I don't know why. Like, and you do seem like you're from Canada, but I just always forget that. Later going to watch Bend It Like Beckham, and later going to watch the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Bend It Like Beckham, I enjoyed. I feel like I saw that like 20 years ago at this point. I don't remember. Yeah, it was probably about 20 years ago when I saw Bend It Like Beckham. And I've never seen the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, even though I was a fan of SpongeBob when I was a kid in my, 14, I'd say 12 to 13, 14, 15 years old. That's when I was very into SpongeBob. You're welcome, Frisky. It's very kind of you to be here. What did think of Mount Washington? Mount Washington in the. I'm sorry. You have to be more specific. I apologize. I'm trying to get what you're asking there. I'm not positive, but I'm. If you write back. Oh, the Overlook, Mount Washington Overlook. In the film, if that was that must have been the location. I apologize. I mean, everything looked gorgeous in the movie. If you're talking about is that where Tom Cruise jumped off on his motorcycle? Because I think that was phenomenal. Yes, Bagface, thank you for joining. Hope all is well. I'm enjoying a Tom Collins today. I decided to go for a cocktail instead of a sour beer. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Oppenheimer is greater than Barbie. I'm sure. Like, I think that they're just two totally different things. And I do appreciate the actual filmmaking that went on for Barbie, though. I watched a lot of behind the scenes, and the set design and the production design was really well thought out, and it looks really cool. And I do really trust Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig as far as writing goes. And yeah, guys, like, I wanted to say this too. Like, I know some of the reviews are like really over the top for Barbie. I had kind of predicted a while ago that it would probably get a Best Original Screenplay nomination for the Oscars. I did not see it coming that people are saying that Ryan Gosling should get a nomination for playing Ken. So that's very interesting. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I think it's supposed to be fun. I think it should be smart and fun, though. So we'll see. Thank you so much, Bagface, for stopping by. So glad we haven't lost the beloved Paul Rudd. I agree. I love Paul Rudd. Was that in reference to something? I'm so sorry. I feel like these questions, I'm trying to like piece them together from what I said. But yeah, I love Paul Rudd. I'm sure he'll do something. Paul Rudd's got to do some more projects now that Ant-Man Quantumania was horrendous. I think he will, and I think he probably understands the climate regarding him. Oh, you did miss it. That's okay. I just said it again, but I'll say it's a Tom Collins. It's a very refreshing, old school classic cocktail. So. Anything not Spidey cartoon, Mario, or super family friendly will underperform. Movies they want to fail for underperforming when it. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I thought Mission Impossible was going to make $1 billion at the box office, and I don't think that's the case now at all, obviously, since we've all seen the numbers. So we'll see what happens. I do think that the pre-sales, though, on both Oppenheimer and Barbie are incredibly high. Every theater, especially the late night shows for Barbie, were like all sold out. And I think it's because people are going to see Oppenheimer before Barbie that day. And then there also are a lot of Barbie parties at like bars and stuff. I know people are like planning whole big things for that. So, John Automate said party movies, just like Super Mario, like that was considered a party movie. They always perform really well at the box office. And I totally agree with that. Kal-El is my favorite Superman. Yes. On behalf of all Canadians, I apologize for a rambunctious forest. Oh no, I know it's not your fault. It's yeah, no, you do not need to apologize. It's crazy though what's going on. My goodness. Paul Schrader called Op the best film of the century, and that's at least got me interested. Oh my god, I love Paul Schrader. So yeah, I'm definitely. Well, you sold me. I mean, I was already sold because I love Christopher Nolan so much, except for Tenet. But I and Dunkirk, those were the two that I felt started becoming self-indulgent and pretentious. But I love Christopher Nolan movies in generally, and I love Paul Schrader. So here we go. Thank you. That's sweet. Every time I hear her name, I think she needs yellow coat and hat. LOL, like the detective. Oh, like Carmen Sandiego or April O'Neil. Yeah. Oh, Dick Tracy. That's what it is. Yeah, I've gotten that before, Dick Tracy, and I've actually never seen that movie, which I know is terrible. That's one of the movies that have been on my list for like decades, and I've never seen it. So, whoops, there we are. Scottish Geek Guy, howdy folks, how's it going? I'm assuming you're from Scotland, and if you're not, then maybe you are Scottish and you just live somewhere else. But thank you for joining. Just back from seeing Dead Reckoning, writing my review now. Hopefully it gets recorded this evening. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna look forward to seeing a lot of people's reviews on that. I'm not doing one. I use this time to speak about my thoughts on it. I'm doing some other videos instead. Yeah, it's a fun time. Oh yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah, California. Whew. The California fires are really bad. Apparently these are way worse though, which I think is why it's reaching such a far landscape, comparatively speaking. But yeah, these forest fires are really crazy. Oh my goodness. That is a very complicated question. I think that what we've been seeing from the executives of these studios is disgusting, and at the end of the day, I don't think they care. No one cares. They don't care about the actors or the writers at all. I think there's a lot of misinformation online though, and I think that a lot of people think that the top actors who are making millions of dollars a year are the ones that are striking, and the top writers that are only doing stuff for like Marvel and Disney movies are the ones that are striking. And it's like that those people have like nothing to do with this strike. Those people are just important for the strike because it ensues that everyone else gets the things they need taken care of, regarding these issues, addressing these issues. So if I can't really stand the whining that's going on about like, oh well, they make millions of dollars a year. It's like it's not about them. It's about the hundreds of thousands of other people in these guilds. That's what really the fight is for. And I'm sure like there's a small show on some streaming service that you absolutely love and you think the writing's brilliant. That's who that's for. Or some A24 movie. That's who that's for. It's not the big head honchos of these celebrity writers or celebrities. It's not for James Gunn. I'll put it that way. It's not for James Gunn. It's not for Margot Robbie. It's those are the people that need to be a part of the strike to make an impact on these executives moving forward and coming to some type of conclusion. But the fact that they extended the strike for the actors 12 days because they thought, oh, they're going to just like really come up with a great plan to counter us with. Nope, they used those 12 days just to fill in more press screenings and have premieres for their upcoming films and have these so they can release them moving forward in the next couple of months without worrying. It's a mess. It's a mess. I don't think it's going to end anywhere close to September, maybe October, but who knows? It's really getting bad. Movies and more, yeah, but we're all too stoned up here to put them out. That's a fantastic answer. Oh my goodness, that's really hilarious. Oh, good. Cineplex and Landmark are those. LOL, those two are owned like 99% of theaters in Canada. Okay, I've seen their logos. That's for sure. I wonder if either of those have any theaters in the United States. I would be curious if there's any crossover because I guess there's no crossover with AMC or Regal, which I wasn't sure about. Not watching Overlooking Pittsburgh. Oh my God. Yes. Sorry. Sorry. There was a lot going on that trip and I forgot. Yes. Beautiful. And we took the little commuter. I don't even know what that would be called. It's like a little train cart that was developed because people lived all the way on the top and then they had to come down slowly for work. Every day you couldn't drive down. So that was really cool. I think that was from like the 1900s. You played Rent? Yes. I know. You're a big Rent fan. I'm a big Rent fan. You and I should do a whole video on Rent together. I think that would be really fun. Sorry for that. Okay, let's see. Oh, hi, Huck. How's it going? Huck's channel is so fun. You guys should all check it out. Especially He does great like morning streams, live streams. But one of my favorite things he does are these like game show types of streams where he has people on, and there's always like a different. It's like it's trivia essentially, but it is so great. The way he puts it all together, he puts so much work into those. It's just absolutely super 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 fun. So thank you so much for showing up, Hank. Huck. Why did I say Hank? Oh, I know why I said Hank, because I just finished watching Barry season 4, the finale, like all of that season, and NoHo Hank is obviously one of my favorite characters. So I apologize for calling you Hank, Huck. Thank you very much for showing up. I'm actually, because I'm a horrible host, I'm actually getting the link to Bone Bridger currently because I didn't send it to him yet, and we have so much to discuss. He'll be joining momentarily, and well, then I'll get back to the chat. Thank you all for showing up and putting great comments in the chat too. We're having a great time here. Okay. How's New York summer this year? I'm facing at minimum 115 degrees every day. We've seen a couple 120s. It's hot. I forget where you are, Fritzky. New York has just been like humid. It is like, I feel like the most humid summer ever, but I feel like I just can't stand humidity. So maybe I just think that every summer, but it's been really hot and humid. But it is mid-July, so it is par for the course. So, but yeah, I'm curious where you are. Yep, everyone's saying hi to Huck. Tracy Max Cinema. That's hilarious. That would be fun. It's probably a money pit, though, so I probably wouldn't. That wouldn't be the best financial advice, Kal-El, but thank you. Oh, Elf the movie. Elf is underrated, I think. I like that one a lot. And I like John. I think, Jon Favreau is a great director. And I know there's a lot of problems with Star Wars right now. I don't really know how much. I know he's still, I believe, directing and writing, or maybe he's just producing. But I don't see Star Wars being like Jon Favreau's like biggest. I feel like he's getting sick of it, to be honest. I think he wants to do other things, and he should do other things. He's a really good director. And he brings a great personality to everything. I loved Chef. I love what he did with the first Iron Man. I've heard The Jungle Book is fantastic. I really like Jon Favreau, and Elf is a really great Christmas movie. So yeah, I mean, I could see that. I hope it's like fun like that though. I think that's what we would want. I loved all the Rankin Bass stuff that they do in Elf. Those like the little Rankin Bass nods, like like the little miniature Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and like all of those that they had from the 70s that they play every year. I loved how they played that up in the Elf movies. Elf movie. Hollow Notes, how's it going? Happy hour to you as well. I know, Kal-El. I know it is crazy, but people are saying he is spectacular as Ken. I have a feeling that, because I've seen the trailer multiple times, I thought the trailer was like pretty subpar to me. Like I thought it was fun, but it wasn't like over the top. I have a feeling they didn't know how to put a trailer for this movie, and I think that that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's happened many times where I felt like the trailer was kind of like a little all over the place and didn't really have a specific vision of who it's trying to appease, and then the movie wound up being like amazing. So I'm being very open-minded to both, so we'll see how that all goes. It looks like my guest has arrived. I'm going to Bone Bridger's gonna hate this because last time he was on, I had such a great intro, and I had his logo and everything, and now I have to re-export that and I can't find it. So I'm doing the one that I usually do for other live streams. So I will play that, and then we will bring him on. And thank you guys all. I'm excited to introduce my guest, the Bone Bridger, for a second time. So yeah, here we go. Hello.
I emotionally identify with several characters you just saw in that. Several. Probably not the ones I should, but
Oh, whoops.
yeah. Oh,
Did I just
and you're
disappear?
gone. This is what
I
happens
didn't.
when the Bone Bridger shows up.
I
Things
didn't mean to do that.
malfunction.
I was actually
Technical
just gonna try to.
difficulties.
I was trying to mirror my camera. Actually, hang on. I'll get back because my
Oh.
camera is still working. Hang on.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Do you have a backup camera? Is that what the other one
It's
is,
the
or?
yeah, it's the desktop camera. But it's really
Mm.
weird. I clicked the wrong thing briefly, and then that happened. So
And then
let's see
then
here.
chaos.
It is chaos. Actually, well, what we'll do? Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm back on. Cool. Okay, perfect.
Just
So
put on an
let me
extra
see.
camera, have both at the same time, so people can be a little tripped out. They can be like, "What's happening?"
Yes. Well, I wanted to mirror it so that I don't look like I'm looking away from you. So
Oh, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's
yes,
yeah.
because that
Nope,
doesn't really
totally
matter
get it.
where your camera is facing. But I feel like for like you're on my channel, if I'm just like, yo, yeah, that sounds great, or yeah, it would be
What
this way.
one day I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna build this in where the camera's right underneath like the screen so that I can look directly at it, but it's like still the screen too, so I can see you and not just stare at the camera. But you know, oh yeah, I see Maxfield in the chat. Your background has the
Oh,
best Easter eggs. Oh, we've got Easter eggs.
oh,
We've
well, you
got
know
big
what? I'm
time Easter
sorry. I'm
eggs.
gonna switch over to my other camera. I
Do
apologize.
it. Hey, since he pointed out Easter eggs, I'm gonna show something real quick.
Okay.
Definitely got ripped off. So I probably one of the best gifts I ever got for anyone was my brother. I got him like the Hellboy 1 comic, like one of the first edition ones. It was, I had to track it down and it was not cheap. And while I was there, it was at a little store. I bought it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy one. And I just was looking around and I was like, oh, I had one from 2017. Okay, let me tell you. Yeah, this is a cool comic. It's a good one. It's considered really quality. It's from 2017. It's the X-Men Blue 1 variant cover of the Villobus. I got ripped off hardcore on this one because I was just in the moment and I was like, oh, I'll buy that one too. I don't really know a lot about it. Oh, mistakes. So anyway,
No, that's
always
awesome.
research what you're buying before, because this I overpaid by a lot of money, and on the Hellboy one I underpaid by a lot of money. So I guess it worked out.
No, that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. So I keep it in the frame because not only is it a reminder to always double check how much something should be worth, because it's probably only worth like $20-$30, but I didn't pay $20-$30.
No, yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, yeah, I put your stuff on sometimes, and he just is loving all that stuff. So,
Yeah,
um,
I'm becoming a little bit of a collector. Uh, I don't know why, but it's happening.
that's awesome. People love that stuff, so that's really great.
Yeah. So how's it
Um,
going? What you been chatting about?
we were talking a bit about Mission Impossible,
Mm.
and I have like the one hot take that I think there's two issues that I had with it, and a lot of people disagree with me on one of them. And then I had a couple people agree with me on one of those, which the other one. Um, Ilsa's death really bothered me. And I felt like it
Mm.
was really a disservice to that character. And I felt like that fight scene in general was like, I felt like she could kick his ass really easily. And like, it was just, I don't know.
Do you think that was? I actually remember sitting in the theater going, "This has to be because Rebecca Ferguson has too much acting conflicts and she doesn't want to be in the next one, or she can't be in more of it." I literally
Okay.
thought to myself, "This seems like her saying I can't be in any more of it." Because I agree with you. The only way that happens is if she wanted it. I feel like, or
Yeah.
needed an out.
Yes.
Um, I actually think that was kind of one of the parts I didn't really like, but I assume it's because of her and her schedule. Because I mean, everyone wants her to be in everything, which makes sense. But that and the ending, it
Mm.
felt a little weird to me. Like, I know that they were trying to avoid the cliffhanger, but it still felt, I don't know, it just felt a little like, I like the movie, it's good, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I get what you're saying though, because she is an awesome character. For her to go out like that, it almost had to be her maybe outside. I don't know. I don't buy that it was a story. I feel like it was like her acting career that took her out or something.
Well, and that goes to the one thing that I didn't like, and it is a hot take, and you will probably disagree with me, and it's totally fine. And I've said this to everyone in the chat. It's like everyone has an opinion. It's okay. I absolutely hated the Grace character, and it was a weird age issue to me. So she is supposed to be 29 in the movie. She's played by a woman that is 41 at this point.
Right.
And to me, the writing was for someone that was like 19. Like it didn't make it
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
she just kept making the worst decisions, and she's supposed to be like the best thief in the world, and she's been through all this
Hmm.
stuff, and she just kept screwing it up every 5 seconds, and it just really bothered me, and it seemed like a whiny brat. But I don't know.
I thought like for a second I felt like they were going to do something different with her character. Like that she was like playing it up, like she was more involved in things than we thought. I thought she was going to be a villain at the end, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I thought like and I think that'd have been a little more compelling, but now I just think maybe they were replacing Rebecca Ferguson because of her leaving or something. And so like it was a weird kind of I also didn't like the ending of Palm, the French actress, and I looked it up just before the stream just in case. But Mantis from Guardians,
Yes.
her turning good technically at the end, or I don't know. I wouldn't say good. I didn't really like that either. I told you I loved her as a villain.
Yes.
Sometimes I think you just gotta let the villains be villains. Like I'm not always for the like coming full circle, you know. But yeah, I could
Yeah.
see that. Like, why? I don't know. It's good, but it's one of those things that it's like, did they leave some on the table? Was there some of the story that like, I don't know.
I would have spent more time with Palm, to be honest, because you
Hmm.
brought it up earlier that Fiat chase scene in Rome was fantastic, and like I
Yeah,
loved watching her, and I could have used actually a little bit more of her to be and less Grace.
totally a different villain. She Mission Impossible usually doesn't have villains like that. That was, but they kind of didn't let it become anything. I think that's my biggest thing. She like I liked her, but looking back because of the ending, I don't know. You know, it just kind of they left a lot there to be desired, which I don't know. You know, this movie was filmed over maybe too long of a stretch too. You know, I
Yeah.
think it was like 2.5 years of production because the way they started and they had to stop and restart in another country. Um, I think that can be problematic a little bit. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I'm actually going to put a question up here for you, and I'm sure you'll have an answer because there's a billion movies this person has been in. And I will leave it to you, and I will be right back, actually. But
Okay.
I'm sure
Sounds good.
it's an easy question. It's not like I'm not leaving you with something insane.
Ooh. Do you have a favorite Ryan Gosling performance? Might be a cliche pick, but Drive is easily my favorite. Drive is so good. Blade Runner 2049 is underrated in my opinion. I that movie really grilled me. By the way, hello to all of you. Caveman Movies and More. Hi, nice to meet you for the first time. Cal L Daily. I paid like 110. I got ripped off pretty bad on that comic. Now I paid a lot more for the Hellboy comic, but that makes sense. It's a legit first edition. And then hello Hannibal. Oh, we got some other people. Ryan Gosling performance. Ooh, you know the Nice Guys shows some talent. Blade Runner 2049, I really like him in. I really like Ryan Gosling as an actor, to be honest. But number one, maybe Drive. Yeah, it's kind of easy choice, but it's easy for a reason. Drive's legit. Yeah, me trying to make legit works. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go Drive too. I think that's a really interesting character. But although I will say, uh, the Nice Guys, I mean, he's putting on an acting clinic in the Nice Guys. So yeah, Ryan Gosling, I honestly have never not liked him in something.
I agree. I was listening to all of your responses. That great choices. I love Drive as well. Did you ever? One I saw recently that came out a while ago was The Place Beyond the Pines. Did you ever see
Oh
that?
yeah. Super. Those are the kind of movies that I only watch once. Like they're good.
Yeah.
I like them, but like they are not my rewatchables. Yeah, definitely good in that. Oh, what's that other grim movie he's in? The Blue. It's sad. It's super
Oh,
sad.
Blue Valentine.
Blue Valentine.
That's a
Like he's
really good
good.
movie.
Like the movie's quality, but I will not watch it again.
No, that is I think one of the most awkward sex scenes I've ever seen in a movie, and it's on purpose. In the hotel, and they're like trying to revitalize something. Oh my god, it's like so cringy. I remember just cringing in the theater, and yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
were like at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's like we don't have that spark anymore, do we?
Yeah, that's rough. That's absolutely rough. Oh, and thoughts on him and Gangster Squad? Okay, I stand back. I mean, I stand corrected. There is one movie I'm not a fan of him in, but to be fair, I'm not a fan of that movie.
I heard it
Uh,
was horrible, and I remember
it's
the
not my
trailers.
thing.
I wanted to see it, and then
I
I was like, oh,
it
this
just
cast looks awesome, and
yeah, it just felt weird to me. Like it felt
yeah,
so weird. I was like, I don't know what tone this is going for. I don't know if it was supposed to be like Sin City style, but not, or I don't know. It was like it was looking for a voice or something. I don't know.
yeah, and that
Yeah,
was that era where they were really trying to push Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone as being like the Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy dynamic, and it was like their third movie together. I didn't see it, and I enjoyed. It has a horrible title, but it's a really good movie. And I can't. It's the one with Steve Carell and Julianne Moore and Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Something. It's a horrible title. It's like Love.
Oh,
It's
Love Actually? No, no,
no,
no,
no. It
no. It's
sounds just like that though. And it's funny
yes,
because
I know what you're talking about.
I saw an interview with Steve Carell, and he was like, "I hate the title of the movie. We went through like 1,000 titles and couldn't figure something out. We just like out of
Right.
exhaustion went with that." And the movie is so much more than what that
It is.
title is. Yeah.
That ending of that is so good too. Like
Yes.
whenever Kevin Bacon shows up at the party in the backyard,
Yes.
oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm looking right now. Golly,
And
he's done some great. Oh, I take that back. I do have an absolute favorite for Ryan Gosling. It's The Big Short. It's a
mm,
minor role. That's his that. Oh, Crazy Stupid Love. Okay, yeah,
yes,
yeah. That
yes,
I was
horrible
looking.
title.
Yeah, Crazy Stupid Love in the chat. Hannibal and yeah, Lauren. Yeah, that everybody's getting the. But yeah, in Big Short, that scene where he explains the housing crisis with the building, I could watch that scene forever, forever and ever. I think that that's just one of the funniest scenes ever, and the way he looks at the camera when he's doing his thing, oh, so good.
Yes, yeah, yeah, and yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I learned so much from that movie too. I remember like watching it and being like, everyone should just watch this as like an education to what is capable in this country and what went on. And yeah,
Yes, no, I think that that should have been mandatory viewing.
yes,
Like just you have to see because yeah, the way they did it was so entertaining.
they should
Like
show it in high schools. I think.
they
You
should,
know?
they
Yeah.
really should.
Let's see. We were talking about because it is our happy hour, so I don't know if you're
Oh,
participating in a drink currently,
Kentucky.
but I'm drinking. I usually do like a sour beer for these, but I'm having a Tom Collins today. Actually, I switched it up. But Maker's Mark or Woodford. If not, I actually have tried both just because I've bartended on and off for a very long time, so I have
Oh,
used those,
cool.
and yeah, excellent. And actually, Woodford makes a double oaked bourbon that is quite nice as well. So let's see. My instinct is Barbie will comfortably beat Oppenheimer. It's got more obviously identifiable target audience. Yeah, yeah, totally.
Big time.
Yes, and we were just talking about how they are kind of both helping each other out though, because that Barbenheimer craze. Everyone is now.
Right.
I mean, I loved a double feature. I don't do them often. The only one I can remember was seeing The Fighter and Black Swan on the same day, and
Oh,
that's
that's
because I was trying.
interesting.
Yeah, it was really because I was trying to bang them out for the Oscars that year. But people don't normally do double features, and now it's just like everyone's doing a double feature this weekend, which I, as a movie fan, I love. You know.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I like that this is so Barbie will win the box office, but Oppenheimer will be like historically a legendary film that's on a
Mm-hmm.
level that like people will talk about for hundreds of, like it'll be like Citizen Kane gets referenced. People will probably reference Oppenheimer, which is just awesome because then it's like you're doing something that's not all about the money. Like, yeah, Nolan's movies make money, but they make, I mean, they're going to win awards. I mean, That's for sure. I don't know what awards, but it's a cool combination, a fun movie and a you're gonna go watch a master at his craft show you how it's done. Like,
Oh yeah. And it's with his movie, I mean this movie in particular, I mean you can tell it's probably going to be a best picture nomination, best director, best actor Cillian Murphy, and then we'll see how, maybe best adapted screenplay because it is actually based off of a biography that was written about this. And I saw an interview with the writer. The writer is very
mhm.
fascinating, and there's so much involved that I didn't even know about this guy and how he was like ostracized
Yeah,
afterwards, and really
right. Thrown under the
interesting.
bus, treated like they thought he was. It's Prometheus, American Prometheus, or something, right?
Mm.
Yeah, it's crazy. His real life story. It kind of shows you that sometimes when you do something, you'll get betrayed for it. Like he was thrown. I mean, it's going to be hard to watch in some ways because, oh man, and then his personal life stuff is wild too.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't know this, but I actually grew up near Princeton University in New Jersey. And I had always known Einstein, lived and taught there for years. I didn't realize that after all the chaos that was going on, he wound up actually going to Princeton to do more research and teach and all that stuff and became very close with Einstein. And I think for 2 seconds in the trailer, you actually see someone portraying Einstein in the movie. And I find that stuff so fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be kind of crazy to see. I think everybody's really excited to see Einstein. I think
Yes.
he's a super underrated famous figure.
I know, and I feel like the only movie we got about him was IQ with Walter Matthau.
Right. This
Yeah,
might be this will be the movie for like even though it'll be just a few scenes.
yeah. Oh,
Golly.
um, well, I love The Prestige. I maybe it's an age thing because I really can understand why people don't like Dunkirk and Tenet. Um,
Hmm.
but I've grown up, not grown up, but like I was very heavily influenced by Nolan years and years and years ago, and so maybe that's why because we know the body of work that he did prior to those movies. But
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. Some of Nolan's movies, I don't. I'm not a fan of all of them. Like I don't. I wouldn't say they're like bad movies necessarily, but like I'm not a Tenet fan. Dunkirk. I'm really glad. Like if you, it, it's one of those things. Like I understand what he was doing with the timelines, where the frame was a different size. It was like some things are in the past and the future, and you're seeing things in the wrong order. But if you didn't know that, it might be frustrating if you couldn't figure it out, which I think a lot of people, to be fair, didn't. So the Prestige is interesting because if you go back and watch it, the acting in it, you're like, these are legends. How did they do this before? It's Jackman and all. I mean, yeah, it's a good point. It's interesting. I just wonder what will be Nolan's movie. Is it going to be The Dark Knight? Is that going to be the movie? Is it going to be Oppenheimer? Like, Spielberg has all these movies, but most people would say it's Jaws. Even if you want to claim it's ET or whatever, it's Jaws. Like Jaws is just like historic. I wonder what Nolan's movie will be that people are like, that's the movie. Like that's his best movie.
this one might be it.
This one might be it, which is very
Yeah,
cool to be like, wow, this could be the one.
it's his
That's
first
exciting.
biopic. It's his first biopic. The concept isn't going to be mind bending and
Right.
all that stuff.
I'm
So
excited for that too. Straightforward.
mhm.
Like here's the story, tell it to us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so very interesting stuff. I just want to this KB loves movies. I just had to put him up here. Great channel, really great person. Um Fantastic interviews that he does with a lot of other YouTubers, and I just wanted to say cheers to you as well,
KB
KB. Thanks
loves
so much.
movies. Nice.
Yeah.
It's always
Um
nice, some
yeah.
YouTubers out there that aren't just, being horrible to people. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I only bring the nice ones like you on my
That's
channel. That's for
that's right. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm thankful for that.
sure. I saw this. This was something we were talking about actually earlier. Was someone asked me about the strikes, and I don't know if I really want to talk about it too much. I gave my opinion, and I think there's a lot of misinformation online about who the strike is for, how
Mhm.
it's really for just the Marvel and Disney writers, and it's for just the Margot Robbies and Brad Pitts of the acting world. And it's in my opinion, it's not. It's for everyone else, and those are the people that matter to be involved in the strike for studios to make a difference. So, um, but yeah, it's true. One casting could employ thousands, and that's why they are also important to this. And a great point was brought up about this too, and it was by Chris Stuckman, who did a great video on this as well,
Mm-hmm.
about the extra thing, because the extras thing I think is one of the craziest things that they proposed, where they own your likeness forever, and you can't even go to another
Yeah.
studio and be an extra like that. And I think it was Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were both extras on, I think that it might have been Varsity Blues or something like that. And then after that, they decided they really enjoyed it and it was really interesting, and they did another extra gig, and then they got a couple speaking roles, and then they wrote, Good Will Hunting, and they made all these connections. They learned so much. Like, though, if this was the case where you just did one AI, extra gig, like that wouldn't have happened then. A lot of it's being surrounded by it and learning like that. So
Yeah, it's sad to see. Like, I feel like and granted, this is like Hollywood 101. Every time something happens, you sling mud. Like you muddle everything, so it's hard to know what the real things are, what the real issues are. Like, everyone talks about the AI thing, but they don't talk about like you just said, like the likeness of like people that are extras who are trying to be. They don't want to be extras. Most people that are extras don't want to be professional extras. So if you are owning their likeness, is that not hurting their career?
yes,
I'm no fan of the You know this. I'm no fan
yes,
of the big studios. I'm happy to
yeah,
bash the studios. And I have signed 3 writer contracts before, and all of them have NDAs, but I can say that the things you have to agree to because of the writers' rules that they have in place, it's brutal. Like,
wow,
as a financial person outside of that, I immediately knew long term I didn't want to be a part of it, because what I'm saying is, hypothetically speaking, is that, if you wrote something and you gave someone, you getting 2% is really rough. Like,
yeah,
if someone makes your movie and you get 2% of the profits, it might be a lot of money, but it's also like you do the
yeah.
work and then, yeah. So I feel for them. I really do. And I hope something changes, but I don't know. It seems bad right now. It seems
Yeah,
really bad.
I tried to explain it essentially. It was like, I'm sure all these people that complain about the Marvel and Disney stuff, there's got to be some type of smaller show, or even maybe not even a huge show, that like they love and they think the writing's fantastic, or like an A24 film. Those are the writers that
Yes.
we're all concerned about.
Like The Bear. Like, those
Yes,
writers are getting absolutely shafted. Like
yes,
that's a great example. Like, I'm not surprised Disney shafts all their people. Like
yeah.
that's nothing new. I mean, Daisy really got 750,000 for the Star Wars films. I That's just the way they do things. And granted, it
Oh
made
my
her career and now she's going to make money. I get that, but still,
Still.
750,000 for Star Wars lead actress.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Wild times.
Yes. I'm trying to. I'm like way behind in the comments here, so I'm just gonna skim through. Yes. Okay. Yeah. There's a very active chat today.
Yeah, you got some things going in the chat here. I like this.
Yes. This one's for you.
Oh, you must have sensed that I am a Western movie fan. How do we say this name? How do we pronounce? I'm bad with
Laren
names.
Laren
Laren.
McMullen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I am a super fan of Westerns. My best screenplay I've ever written is a Western, and it is based on the idea of Westerns needed to evolve to be not just, and I love classic Westerns, but for me, it's Unforgiven at the top of the whole list. And then Tombstone would be next down. I both of it are really quality. For me, Unforgiven is just like the peak of, it's like Logan. A lot of people say this. It's like the Logan was to superhero films. Unforgiven was to the Western. People thought Westerns were done. You'd never see a quality one again. And then Unforgiven came in. It was like, this is the best movie of the year. Like everyone knew it. It was like, this is peak. I mean, the acting, the story, the ending, it was everything you'd want. And it wasn't like that old style Western where at the end, like the hero rides into town. It was a stormy night and he walks into the saloon, and they all know that they have no chance. I don't know. Gene Hackman too. Gene Hackman might be one of the best to ever do it. I mean, that guy.
I love him.
Oh, he's so good. I have honestly, Enemy at the State. I love everything he's ever been. I have no he's that's a legend right there.
Oh, I know. I just did a video about the conversation, and
Oh
he's
yeah.
just so phenomenal in that movie. And there's no dialogue. I kept saying this in my review. I was like, "There's not a lot of talking in this," but like
Right.
you're so in his head the whole time, and he just portrays that character so well. You feel
Yeah.
everything he feels when you watch that movie. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, so good.
Just because I this is a good question. I know they're doing the Hot Wheels is supposed to be next, right?
They are. Mattel has this crazy plan to do all their toys into movies and do crossovers and stuff. The only thing I wonder though is a Barbie sequel. If it's not Greta directing it, which I assume not, because Netflix just locked her up for a couple of Narnia movies. Uh, if it's not Margot Robbie, if it's not Greta, is it worth doing? I
Right.
don't know. Like, is it going to be something where is it good because of them, or is it good because of the concept and story?
I agree. I agree with you. It's weird because it is such like you both have auteurs behind the script and you both have, these specific visions. And I feel like it would probably cheapen this film and the brand if they decided to do that. But who
Mm-hmm.
knows? We'll see,
Yeah.
I guess. Um, Oh, Bagface. Yeah, and Bone Bridger. I don't know if you know Bagface, but he has a great channel. And I've streamed with him a couple times on Platoon and Cynic. He has a great channel, and he was referring to YouTubers being horrible.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying, but I keep targeting big studios, and I realize people are all on board with that. Like it's kind of like you can all day long. Like if you choose the big studios, it's fine. But yeah, I mean that is the thing. I mean I do I can't. Like I can, but I even like when I really want to go after someone, I always pull my punches a little bit. I don't know why that is, but I don't know. I don't know. It's
you're a
yeah.
politician. That's what I know.
It is. I have that trait, and I don't know why. I've been told
Yeah.
that before. Diplomat.
Yes.
Ironically, The Diplomat's my new favorite show. I love The Diplomat because I
I heard
love the
it's
idea
really
of you.
good.
Yeah, you have to act a certain way. I'm all about that. Like you have to when you're like this, you got to be something, and then you have to make plan. I don't know. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't Carrie Russell in that? I know she's nominated for an
Yes, she's a
Emmy, I think, for
producer
that.
too. It's her show,
Wow.
which is really cool. She's phenomenal. And oh, I forget his name all the time, but he's the bad guy in A Knight's Tale. He plays her husband Hal, and that
Oh,
character is fascinating. I mean, he
really?
is. Oh my gosh, and their dynamic. They're both diplomats and they're married. It's
That's cool.
wild. Yeah, and
I'm
even
actually,
she's
yeah.
like afraid of how capable he is.
Oh,
Like he's just too much. They always just too much Hal. Hal is great until he's too much Hal, and it's true. He's making moves even when he seems like he's not. So it's really
I'll have
cool.
to check that out. I'm going to be watching The Bear next as my next show, and then, just I heard it's so like you just go through that show really quickly. So I'll check out The
Yeah,
Diplomat next. So definitely, I've
Bear
heard
goes
nothing
so
about.
fast.
Here's another good question. What do you think is Jeremy Renner's best performance? I think The Town is easily his best. I would
Yeah.
say, yeah.
Is there what do you have of him that's I'm trying to think of what else he's been in that would be close.
So like I remember seeing him in American Hustle, but I feel like they didn't really give him a lot. He plays like the
Right,
mayor.
right.
I
Yeah.
feel like they don't really give him a lot in movie season. I mean, also, I mean, wasn't he in the one that skyrocketed his career was Hurt Locker,
Yeah,
right?
now right, that's a good point. I forgot about Hurt Locker. Uh he's really good in The Town though. And everyone knows that iconic scene in The Town where Ben Affleck's character shows up. It's like I need you to do something for me. I can't tell you what it is, and we're gonna like hurt some people. And it's like,
Yes.
whose car are we taking? Or it's just like, there's some legendary
Yeah.
actors in that movie too. Do you know happen? I feel ashamed I don't know his name. He plays the mobster in that movie, and he is in Jurassic Park: Lost World. He's the hunter guy in that movie. Famous actor. I think he was in like maybe the Last of the Mohicans and stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, but
I'll look it up.
Steven Spielberg was quoted as saying that he thinks he is the best actor to ever live, which is like Mind blowing.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm
he said
looking
that
that up.
on the set it was like watching someone do something that you don't you felt wrong for telling them any notes. Like you it would have felt wrong because they're the person. It'd be like you going up to Michael Jordan saying this is how you should play basketball, even if you're a great basketball player. Like, but I've always been fascinated with that.
Let's find out who this is. So this is
So in the town, if you go to the town IMDb, we can probably pick him out. Um, a little bit older of an actor, and I think he may have passed away. I hope not. I would hate to
okay.
have said he hasn't. He hasn't.
Here we are.
Okay. I
It's not Chris Cooper, is it?
no, but I think it's
No.
Pete. Is that him? I can't really tell. Go to his thing and
Hmm.
see. Let's see his career. Yeah. Okay. If you go down, let's see what all his list is. See if this is right. I think this is right.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
he's
He said Lost World.
Lost World. Yeah. Okay. He is. I've seen people talk about it. Apparently, like on set and in movies, like a lot of directors talk about how great he is, which kind of blows my mind. Because you think famous actors, you think like A-list kind of level actors and everything like that. But he's great in the town too.
I didn't even know he was in the Dial of Destiny.
Uh, I wonder what his credit was for that because I think he's passed away since
Oh,
some
okay.
time. Yeah, I wonder what his credit
Maybe
in
that
that
was
is.
just an odd thing that yeah, it was in his
Yeah.
photos, so that was weird to see. Maybe it's just
Huh.
an ad. That's
Yeah, it could have
ridiculous.
been.
Yeah.
That would be Amazon's IMDb. Here, don't you want to see an ad?
I
Oh my
know.
gosh.
Do you remember when IMDb had message boards?
Yeah, I do. I do. I remember IMDb has changed a lot.
That was my favorite part of IMDb because every time I used to see a movie, I would hop on the message boards and read what people were saying and I'd have conversations. And then they said people were being like too mean and too trolly on there. So they got rid of it. And it's like, well, then YouTube happened. So,
Yeah. And people
you know,
want that aspect. Rotten Tomatoes missed out by not letting people comment and talk within the thing. And they
yeah.
really missed out because they were the go-to. And I don't know, it could have been so much more. I wonder what it would have been like.
Crazy. I miss RIP the message boards of IMDb.
That's right.
Let's see here. Gene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He could be anything. He could play any role.
Did you
Uh
ever see Firefly? I never did.
I did. I did. Anthony, I agree. I don't know why this show didn't do good. I really don't get it. I have no answers for why that show didn't do good. And ironically, Battlestar Galactica is one of my favorite shows of all time. Firefly is great too. What did Battlestar have that Firefly didn't? And I've thought about that a lot. And I think it's the scale. Like Firefly is it's like a cool Western kind of like actiony heist type thing at sometimes. But I don't know. It's a great show. Just didn't had great cast too. Great cast. Some
Wasn't
shows
that
just
a
don't work.
Joss Whedon? Wasn't that a Joss
Yeah,
Whedon show? Yeah.
Nathan Fillion, Josh Whedon wrote
Yeah.
it. And I think
Yeah.
that all the cast have always talked about why they wished it, had done more or done better. But Netflix, if it came out during this era, I think it would have done great.
I just gotta
Yo,
say hi to actually Andrew real quick. Thank you so much for joining us today. My favorite is still Island, United States of Leland. Is that a Ryan Gosling movie?
let
I'm
me
not sure.
double check that. I think I've seen that. Yeah, it had Kevin Spacey, Don Cheadle.
Oh wow, I've never seen
Golly,
it.
it's been a long time. This was what 2003.
Wow,
I vaguely remember it, just vaguely.
I'll have to add it to my list.
Yeah, that's a throwback. Um, gosh, I'm trying to remember what happens in that movie.
Well, that's what's great about these things. People remind you of films that came out, and
I remember going and renting movies and stuff. Like that was a big thing. Like you know, like I think that was when it was easier to remember because now it's streaming. It's just like a flow of like, what did I watch yesterday? I've been trying to like force myself to watch movies I haven't seen though. To
me,
just
I love that.
like this is new. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's one of the best things. And I'm still one of those people that actually gets Netflix through the mail and discs, and that's ending in September. And it's actually my boyfriend has had it for a long time, and I did it before that. But so now we're trying to like go through this list. There's like 400 DVDs or Blu-rays on this list, that we get them in the mail. It's like there's no way we're going to catch up. But I've been using like Letterboxd to kind of track that a little bit better. I don't know if you have Letterboxd, but it's like kind of fun. It's kind of like
Yeah, it's
a
kind
more
of fun.
interactive IMDb, so
Yeah, yeah.
um, Doctor Sleep and Rebecca is on my watch list. I didn't see Doctor Sleep. I have seen the Hitchcock's Rebecca. I think they're remaking that actually, or maybe they did remake it.
Yeah, Doctor Sleep was interesting. It was better than I thought it would be. I was kind of surprised. I not didn't think I would like that movie to be honest, but I did like it.
Is it a prequel or a sequel to The Shining? A prequel?
Sequel. He's grown
Sequel.
up. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Right. So now yeah, he's the kid, but now he's grown up and yeah. Great acting in it, that's for sure.
Yeah. Um. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
because it's the Tenet sound design was really, you couldn't hear what anyone was saying. So then, and it wasn't just for me; it was for everyone that watched that movie. It's one of the
Right.
issues why
It's
people
one of
had
the
a hard
reasons I
time.
didn't like it to be honest.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. Um, I kind of think that bad writing is less about. Oh, by the way, Anthony watches your live streams and came on here because he was introduced to me through your live stream on Thursdays, and he loves your stuff. So
Yeah,
just
he's a
wanted to.
good he's a good one. I actually just read one of his comments about this, about the Star Wars writing. Um yeah, I it's a good thing to kind of talk about. It's the idea of you had a guy in charge. It was George Lucas. And then you went to a studio. And then the studio said, "Okay, we'll hire, Abrams to come in." And then they had already planned on we'll have Ryan Johnson for the second one, and then originally it was, I think, was it Trevedo for the third? It was originally supposed to be, but
Okay.
they didn't make the three of them talk about their writing together, and then they were told not to use any of the book stuff that was already out there. And I was like, right there, you're going to fail no matter what because it's got to be cohesive. At the very least, you just want it to communicate well. You don't want to just hand it off and say do whatever you want. Um, yeah, that's just there was so many good things they could have done.
Well, thank you so much, Anthony, again for commenting and showing up. That's really fantastic. Um, IMDb message boards were pretty angry though. I mean, yeah, but I feel like Twitter and YouTube are angrier or just as angry. I don't know.
I wonder. For me, I can't imagine anything being worse than Xbox Live gamer chat. So
Yeah,
I mean, Twitter might be bad, but
I'm
if
glad
I
you
go
said
back through
that.
my if I go back through my Xbox Live chat from when I was like in 14 and some of the things that were hurled back and forth, oh my gosh,
Yeah, I'm glad you
horrific.
said that because he's like, okay, gave me war flashbacks.
Yeah, no, I get that too. I get that feeling from oh my gosh, Halo 3 open game chat or whatever
Oh
was
my
probably the
goodness.
worst thing mankind's ever experienced.
Oh my god, yes. Um, Before the Blu-ray website, did anyone use the digital bits? I actually don't know what that is. Do you know what that
I
is? The digital
actually
bits?
don't know either.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
I went
very
straight
interesting.
from physical owning stuff to unfortunately just digitally having it all or streaming, which
Yeah.
is a mistake because like you need the physical stuff because if it's not on your hard drive or on something like, I mean, I already regret that what I've become.
Then there were the game FAQs message boards.
Yeah, any message board pretty much turns into horrific things. I, the internet's undefeated. The internet is undefeated.
Yeah.
If you put it out there, humanity will show you what's up. Um,
Yeah. No, that's people online love to hide behind a screen and then say whatever they want.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
they
okay,
do.
I guess. You just have to be
Just
able
gotta
to,
wade through it. Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta,
navigate.
and there are good people among it all. It's just hard to. Sometimes you got to get through the, you know.
So I have not seen this movie. Have you seen 99 Homes?
Yes. So Michael Shannon,
Oh,
Andrew Garfield.
wow.
Michael Shannon is one of my favorite actors ever, and that will always be the case. 99 Homes has, in my opinion, the greatest one shot I think I've ever seen.
Wow.
It's he's like this just scummy realtor, and it's like the opening. He's walking through this house, and the camera's following him, and he's already talking about getting the house and cleaned up and to resell because the person, and I'm not going to say what they do, but you can probably imagine they're still in the house. The police are there. They're putting up yellow caution tape, and he's just already thinking about the money and trying to sell the house, even though this person couldn't afford their payment. And uh, that movie is grim, but yes, I think everyone should watch that movie to understand the housing market and what realtors and people they do to people sometimes. Like, especially during that 0809 precursor to the crisis, people were giving people homes and loans they shouldn't have, and it's just that movie. It's good, but it makes you feel gross.
Wow. I just wrote it down because you sold me at Michael Shannon and Andrew Garfield. So I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to be
Oh,
checking
he's
that one
good
out.
too. Garfield. Yeah, there. It's grim. It's a. You won't feel great, but Shannon is. Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Shannon. That is you. You and me were talking about the Flash a few weeks ago. You want to
Mm.
know why I was worried about the Flash before I went in? Because I read an interview with Michael Shannon where he was kind of bashing it. He was like, "Yeah, it's just kind of a green screen. I didn't really act with other actors. I was just alone in front of a camera." If Michael Shannon immediately has a problem, this is probably not going to go well because he's like the definitive standard of quality. Like,
Yeah, he is. And he said when he worked on Man of Steel, it took like a year of his life. He was like
mm-hmm.
really trained, like, no, working out a lot, really like
Yeah.
every day talking to Zack Snyder, and they were really focusing in on like him as a villain. And then he's like, and then this, it was like a 1 day shoot, and I showed up.
There's a great interview with Michael Shannon and Adam Driver where they interview each other.
I saw that. I love
Oh
that.
my gosh,
Yes.
that's great. Yeah, just so great.
The actors on actors interviews are so good.
Hmm.
And so the Hollywood Reporter does like the roundtables during Oscar
Yeah,
season. And I don't know if the actors on actors is also the Hollywood Reporter, or if it's a different company. But like anyone that loves this type of stuff, like I like love these things. The roundtable and the actors on actors are so fascinating to watch.
yeah. I think it's technically either way the same company. I think Variety, Hollywood Reporter, and the other big one, they're all the same company technically. So it probably is the same style kind of thing. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, let's see here. I'm thinking that
Oh, it's
he's
on
referring to
Hulu.
99 Homes. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fantastic. I'm definitely going to check that out.
yeah.
Um, Thanks for the
Thank
shout. I
you,
enjoy the
Anthony.
content on both your channels almost as much as a Quokka's. Very nice.
Appreciate. Yes. He's also got a awesome profile picture.
Yes,
Like
he does.
that
Yeah,
that lighting is quality. Like
it
that's
makes me
like
want to
three
party with
point.
him.
That's yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, that's great. Um, the Iceman or The Night Before, Chef's Kiss.
yeah.
I
He does some interesting lower budget movies, and he takes less money than he deserves on lots of projects just to be in them.
Oh yeah.
Uh, he's just that guy. He does some great stuff though.
I saw him live in a play, and it him as a stage actor is like just as mesmerizing to watch. It was a David Mamet play, and I forget what the play was called at the moment, but Really fantastic experience. I know he loves live theater so much, and he a lot of his training and acting background comes from Chicago live theater and doing a lot of plays there. And I feel like he kind of still, like, anytime he gets a chance will do a play because that's what he loves, and he'll have, like, he'll make millions off of movies, but then get paid nothing to do a play, because the theater pays nothing, which is bananas compared to. But it makes sense if you look at a
Right.
mathematical standpoint. Seats in a theater are not seats around the globe, So, but yeah, he loves the theater, and he's just so brilliant. I love everything he does. I have not seen The Night Before, and I don't think
Mm.
I've seen The Iceman either. I remember The Iceman coming out. Maybe I did see that, but I don't remember The Night Before.
Yeah, um I haven't seen him recently. Yeah. Hey, Michael Shannon's also in the beginning of Bad Boys 2. If you go back and watch that, he's in the opening scene of that. He's great in it because he's just great.
Oh my
I have
goodness.
my rights. He says that as they throw him in the back of the car, in the back of the trunk. Um,
So good.
yeah. Who would have thunk that he became such a legend? And on Oscar night, he didn't go to the Oscars. He was just chilling down the street with normal people in a Hawaiian shirt and shorts.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
Oh, good. It's a good movie. Marlon Brando, right? Marlon Brando.
Okay, yeah.
I think. Yeah. Should I look? I have confidence, but yeah, Marlon Brando. Um, yeah. I kind of have a love for every western in that era. To be honest, of course, John Wayne, Eastwood, all that stuff. But I
You
don't
were
know.
right. It is Marlon Brando. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid. My great grandmother was a huge westerns fan, and I got to watch so many with her. And honestly, I don't know if there's many I don't like. Like I'm trying to think of any that I. So yeah, I like it. That they're all
Yeah.
good in my book.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions after we do this. Okay. I'll definitely check out the trailer then.
Between Zod and Captain America, the
Well,
Iceman.
definitely interested. Yeah. Therefore, Shannon is the dealer for Rogan, Mackey, and Lovett. Let's see.
Have to
Oh,
check it out and
you.
see.
You sorry. You have another one that's for you.
Silverado. I like Silverado too. I can't help it. There's only one Western I don't like that now that I think about it. And this movie is good. And I love all the actors in it. I think Christian Bale, Russell Crowe, and Ben Foster, if you put them in a movie, I would pay an infinite amount of money to go see it. But for some reason, I don't like 310 to Yuma. It's a good movie. I don't like it. I don't know why. Have no idea what's wrong with me. I think Ben Foster is one of the best actors on the planet. You throw Russell Crowe. Maybe it's Russell Crowe's character I don't like. And I love Russell Crowe. So,
I
yeah.
love Ben Foster so much, and I love Hell or High Water. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and it's interesting. There's a film that I watched recently. We're talking about movies that you like, the classics that you try to see. The movie Paris, Texas, which is not Ben Foster, but that film I watched recently, and it's really, really good, and it has to deal with fathers who emotionally, I guess, can very complex relationship with fathers. And there's a movie that I saw with Ben Foster that is, I feel like, a companion film, and it's called oh my god, I was just
Oh,
talking about this
I
the
know
other
what you're
day.
talking about. Is it they're like trying to live off the land? They're trying
Yes,
not to be.
yes.
Yes. Okay. I saw that one. I didn't see the other one, but I saw that one.
Okay, so then if you ever watch Paris, Texas, which I think you would love, it's from the 70s, I believe, and I think you would really love it. They really feel like that, but I
Okay.
mean, I honestly, at the end of that Ben Foster film, like, I like bawled my eyes out because I felt
Yeah.
like it was
It's
like
intense.
heartbreaking that, like, her father just is so like, no matter how much he loves her, like, he can't live in a normal society. Like, it kills him to do that, and like, he has to, like, let her do that. And it was just a phenomenal movie. Leave No Trace, that's what it's called. Leave
Leave
No
no
Trace.
trace. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Kangaroo Jack.
Oh, I had no clue.
Me either. Me either.
My goodness.
Yeah, I love this. It's a good movie. I don't like it.
Yes, I I have learned one thing on YouTube is you have to be crystal clear because if you don't, you will get, and even when you are crystal clear, it won't matter because there's some things that I love that I know are not good. So just
Same.
I don't know if I've told you this. The most heat I've ever got on YouTube, the most nasty comments. This will surprise you. The most backlash I've ever gotten is my favorite movie, and it is not a perfect movie, and there are lots of flaws, and it is not the best version. But I love Infinity War, the first one. I love Infinity War. It's my favorite movie going experience, but it is not a great movie. But I said that on a video. You would have thought I did something terrible.
What?
Like,
People love that movie.
yes, but like people couldn't. Well, no, there was like two people that could not understand that loving something does. You don't have to think it's the best. Like there is a difference.
Right.
And man, I got it for that one. I mean, they were relentless for weeks.
Oh my
For
goodness.
weeks on my channel, everything I posted, it was like they woke up that morning and they came. Little do they know is I like Infinity War because I identify with Thanos, so they were just fueling my fire. All they did was
Yeah.
bring me joy.
You're like, let's get rid of you.
Yeah, I was like, see, I justification right here that he's the good guy. Uh,
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say something that's like got like a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. But you said
oh
Infinity
no,
War.
no,
I was like, wow.
I could say crazy things, but that was the thing. That
I
was what got. That's what got me the backlash.
that shows you the climate of what's going
Yeah,
on online.
yeah, yeah. It
Wow.
was interesting.
Yeah. No, that's a really good movie. Um, oh my goodness, there's so many for you. Let's see. Well, actually, I'll just pop this up here. Yes, Paris, Texas is superb.
Hmm.
Criterion Collection release. Thank you. Yeah, I actually would love to own it now that I've seen it. Have you seen Big Trouble? Is that the one he did with the guy with Tim Allen? I feel like that was like that weird comedy that he's in, and I think I saw it in like seventh grade in the movies, and I feel like he was in that.
Yes, that's Tim Allen. I don't think I ever saw this.
I feel like Kirstie
Oh no,
Alley
I did.
too.
I did see it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember this. Yeah, it's
I don't
wild.
know. I don't know if it's like well renowned or not, but I just remember seeing it as like a middle school person.
Yeah, it's because like there's a bunch of people in it. It's a wild movie. Wow, that's a throwback too. I haven't seen that one in a long time.
I know.
Yeah, I agree, Hannibal. I I'm one of those people that in game wasn't. I didn't enjoy it that much. I did like Spider Man, but I guess that's Sony technically. But Infinity War for me was like the event. That
Yeah.
audience was shocked. Now this is really grim, but me and all my friends were literally clapping, so happy. There were so many sad people in the theater after the snap happened in Spider Man because we went in saying they're not going to get rid of Black Panther and Spider Man, and they did. And I was like, this is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
did the one thing you didn't expect them to do. Granted, in game kind of undoes it. Uh,
But still, that's and it makes sense if it's going to be 50-50 sporadic, you'd have to have some of the more favorite characters be taken away.
exactly. You have to. That is where subverting your expectations works.
Yeah.
That phrase gets used so many times, like the wrong thing. Is you can't have the audience believe you will never do something like that. You got to break that, I think. But that also doesn't mean you do something silly at the same time. Like, like they only did it because they could bring them back. So it's kind of
No.
like that
Yeah.
loophole of like,
I have to just put this on the screen just because you were talking about this earlier today.
oh my God, Hannibal, I love Big Trouble in Little China so much you don't understand. I love that. Right there is the poster. It's behind the Wolverine. Yeah, that's one of my comfort movies. That's definitely one of my go-to movies. Yeah, it's a Big Trouble. If they ever remake Big Trouble in Little China, it better be good. I can't handle that. There was rumors The Rock wanted to do a remake. Oh my gosh, I was so upset. And this was when I really liked The Rock. I was like, please, please no, please no,
No.
don't. Oh man, John Carpenter knew what was up. Don't try it. Don't try it.
Oh my goodness. I guess to end this, because we are coming to the end of the hour of the happy hour, I would say I would love to know, because I'm kind of drawing a blank until you know Oscar season kind of starts. What films do you think after Barbie and Oppenheimer are you looking forward to any, or are there some things that I don't really see any hype for anything really. I know Blue Beetle's coming out, but I don't really count that in this.
I don't
But
either. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't. I'm not excited for Blue Beetle. I hate to say it. Haunted Mansion. I'm not excited for. I read a little bit
right.
of a sneak peek review, and I was like, oh, and I wanted to be like, I love that ride. I love the
Mhm.
original movie. Um, I like Halloween themed things. I am actually excited for the Meg 2.
Oh yeah.
And I just can't help myself. Like I'm excited for like Scorsese's Flower Moon movie. But really, I hate to say it, not a lot. Flower Moon, I'm trying to think if there's anything coming out on streaming either that would be like
I'm so
it's
glad you said the Meg too, because you've mentioned that a couple times and I thought it was a joke. And then the other day I walked and I saw this huge billboard for the Meg 2 and I was like, "Oh my god, it is happening."
oh my
I
gosh,
didn't
I'm so
realize.
excited. Opening night, I will be there and I will be so happy.
Yeah.
I told some of my friends, I was like, listen, I will not go on night 2. I respect the Meg too much to like it's opening night guaranteed. Yeah, I can't help it. The first one blew my mind. I was like, what am I watching? How did this get made? How does this have a budget? Uh like I
Oh
almost don't
man.
want it to be good. Like I really don't.
Oh, well, and to a second thing, I actually am so thrilled that it works out that you were on my stream today because you know whose birthday it is? Vin Diesel's.
Stop.
It
Is
is.
it really?
Yes.
I no joke. Just to tell you how authentic I am, I have a Vin Diesel ID card in my wallet. Sometimes I hand to people, and it's
Really?
Riddick. And I will be like, "Oh, sorry, that's my wrong one," and then take it back and give them my real ID.
Oh my God.
I
That's
love Vin
incredible.
Diesel. I fully understand how troll he is, but yeah,
Yes, and for anyone in the chat that might not be familiar with Bone Bridger, it's kind of an ongoing joke that I find hilarious. That Fast and the Furious is the prequel to Riddick. And
it is. There, no one can tell me that. Okay, the only way to set up Riddick as that powerful is to make him a superhero. And Fast and Furious, he's invincible. So, yeah, we think that in the next movie he's going to fly off into space and it's going to be a prequel to Riddick. I'm if he doesn't do that, I'm going to be so upset.
I
Golly, I'm
love
going to be
it.
so
No, it's
upset.
so good. It's so good. So happy birthday, Vin Diesel, on behalf of
Yes.
Bone Bridger and everyone
Yes.
in the chat. Do you have anything that you want to promote for your channel coming up?
Just Vin Diesel and in all his glory.
Yeah.
It's important that we all take a step back and realize that we're living in a special time. No, but you're going to be on my stream Thursday, so that
Yes.
would be the only
Yes.
thing. Is yeah, Thursday,
Cool.
11:30 to 2 ish this week.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Sounds good. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you all in the chats. Thank you, Bone Bridger. Everyone in the chat, if you have not subscribed to Bone Bridger, please do. Please check out his channel. He has really fantastic content. I'm very happy that I've gotten to know him and our third compadre, John Automates as well. You'll see a lot of him on our channels, us on his channels. We're all on each other's channels. So,
That's right.
and we have it's Happy Barbenheimer week, so we can't wait to
Yeah,
see what you guys think of it. And thank you all so much. And I don't know if anything else you want to say, but if not, we'll bring it to an end. Cool. Thank you
sounds
guys
good.
again, and I'll see everyone next week.